Yes, guys, I hope that you're good. It's Ben Hawks with the Coach Consultant, and today I'm going to be talking about a really important topic, and that is knowing the numbers inside of your business. Also known as KPIs or Key Performance Indicators are the one thing that's going to enable you to have the most success within business. And it's going to give you the most success because it's going to allow you to remove the guesswork. So in this video, I'm going to do a step-by-step walkthrough of all of the KPIs that I track within my business, well, some of them alongside what I ask clients to do as well. So it gives you an insight in terms of the detail and structure that you need to be looking at in terms of this. So people who do not track numbers within their business are really reactive, really emotional, and they're guessing their progress, they're guessing their progression. That's basically the consequence of not running off KPIs within your business. So the numbers and the data and the metrics will give you all of the decisions that you need to make across social media, across lead generation, sales, client retention, absolutely everything. Otherwise, what you are doing is you are just looking at something and you're making a judgment based on it, based on how that feels to you in that moment. And that, for me, is one of the best things that KPIs do for me. It allows me to remove huge amounts of emotional investment into it, because as a business owner, guys, we are obviously going to be heavily invested, emotionally invested into what we are doing. But it basically enables us to look at things from a different perspective, look at things more objectively rather than subjectively, and puts us in a position to actually make the right type of informed decisions that we need for our team, our clients, our company, but most importantly, your future. So the first thing that I basically do when it comes to KPI tracking, guys, is I split it into 3 different sections. So I have ASM KPI tracking, so that stands for Acquisition Sales Management, Key Performance Indicator Tracking. I then have BDM KPI tracking, so that is Business Development Management, Key Performance Indicator Tracking. And then I have SMM Social Media, which is basically your key performance indicators across all social channels. So I split these into 3 different sections, so they're departmentalized, so it's organized all in one spot. So anything that I need associated with ASM is all in one space. Everything I need for BDM, all in one space. Everything I need for social media, all in one space. And it enables me to just overview, kind of track these systems in a much more easy format. Whereas if you've got everything all in one go, it does get a little bit intense. So I like to split these across 3 different master sheets, and then what I basically do with this is I will track on a weekly and a monthly basis that then pulls all of the KPIs into a master dashboard, exactly the same sheets that I give to my clients. And it allows you to basically look at things from an overview perspective. So what I want to do now, guys, I want to do a step-by-step walkthrough of these different sections and these KPIs and basically what they mean and why they are so important. So you've basically got number 1, which is basically your leads KPIs. So what we've got here is we've got conversations started, positive response rate, appointment booking rate, and then total new data capture. So conversations started at the top. That basically means what is the volume of outbound that is currently happening on the account on a day-to-day basis. So whether this is on Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, on email, on school, wherever it may be, how many conversations are we starting on a day-to-day basis? So this is looking at warm outbound acquisition. This is looking at previous lead retargeting lists. This is looking at resurfacing, because we can't actually get the right type of KPIs we want for anything else if we're not actually hitting the right type of volume as an initial starting point. So what that's going to enable us to do is have a throughput of traffic up at the top so we can see what type of volume that we are actually working with. The next thing that we're coming on to from that point is positive response rate. So that is basically an assessment of how many people we have messaged, how many people have responded positively. So what we're looking from that point is the actual initiated message that we are sending resonating with this audience? Are they actually connecting with it? Are they actually replying? Because if people are not even replying to the volume that's been sent out, you're wasting a shitload of time and effort. So we need to make sure that we've got a really good positive response rate on that initiated stage 1 message there. The next thing that we're looking for from that point is appointment booking rate. So that is basically the step 3 in this, imagine. So stage 1, you've got conversations that are actual started in terms of volume. Stage number 2 is looking at actual positive response rate in an engaged conversation with someone. Stage number 3 is where we're looking to actually spin the conversation with an engaged conversation line of questioning to get someone to actually request a call booking link. And then out of the people who have responded positively, that will then give us an appointment booking rate, right? But the main thing is, like, if you don't have volume, you can't have this data, right? But if you're pushing too much volume out without seeing good positive response rate or appointment booking rate, then you're obviously just sending a lot of effort and a lot of resources and a lot of messages for the absolute sake of it, and that's not what we want in any way, shape or form. And then what I like to basically have on here as well is total new data captured, because I feel like sometimes people think that, oh, well, not all of these conversations have led somewhere, or blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, look, did you collect the number? Did you collect their email? Sweet. Well, they're on a list for future retargeting, so it gives us an opportunity down the line. But in terms of like kind of DM and lead flow tracking, there's a fair few more, but that's the 4 main ones that I want you to be looking at tracking from that point. Next thing we're going to look at is sales key performance indicators. So what we've basically got here is you've got total call volume, total show up rate, total no show rate, total won versus lost, and then what that basically gives us is no show rate versus close rate. So total calls, that is the amount of calls that have been taken this week. From that point, how many people have actually shown up to the amount of people that's actually called, how many people didn't show up, and then all we're looking at from that point is tracking the volume of won, volume of lost, and that will basically enable you to easily have a no-show rate and a close rate. So all we are basically looking at doing at all times is, one, increasing call volume, but also making sure we are trying to improve our show rate and also our close rate at all times, because there's no point in spending loads of money on acquisition and pushing things up from that type of perspective when we're not getting people showing up to actual calls, or when we're not actually closing people on there. So what this data does is it allows us to look at different areas within the business. So for example, if we're not got enough calls coming in, or if we're not got enough volume, then we know then that is actually a breakdown on the previous system with the appointment setting structure, paid media, lead magnets, follow-ups, retargeting. If we've got loads of call volume coming at the top, which is absolutely great, but we've got a really shit show-up rate, then that potentially could be to do with the actual funnel that you've got in place, or the reminders on SMS and email that we need to be tracking to make sure people are nurtured to actually want to turn up. If we have then got to a point, for example, where its no-show rate is really high, then that potentially might be, again, an area from previously where we're actually qualifying poor people who aren't actually ever going to show up to the call in the first place. And then you've also got, obviously, kind of your close rate, which is going to be dictated by who is actually taking your sales calls, whether that's you or whether that's a closer down the line. So in terms of actual revenue KPIs, we're going to be looking at the basics of this. We've got total new payments in full, total new monthly recurring revenue, total combined, total expenses will then basically give you your total profit margin. I cannot begin to express the importance of tracking these numbers, right? If you've not got an accountant, get an accountant and get obsessed with tracking all of your finance numbers. The only time that I've ever been tripped up in business is in the periods where I have not respected the numbers enough, or I've taken too much risks and not tracked the numbers afterwards. So this is many years ago, not now, but in my early 20s, I used to just spend for the sake of spending. And I was sat there thinking, Jesus, well, I'm not actually doing that well here. And I learned a lot about profit margins when I we lost 6 figures on a meal prep company in the pandemic as well. Your profit margins are so fucking important. Again, I spoke about this earlier, where of this reel from Matt Gray on a carousel, and it said, peace, profit, purpose, right? Peace is the most important thing. There's no point in scaling a business that is stressful and don't give you the life that you want. But if you're not actually making money from it, then it's also equally as fucking not important. So you need to make sure that you are coming in and making profit in your business. And if you're not tracking your revenue KPIs because you don't want to see it or you don't want to know, whatever it may be, you need to get over that ASAP, rocket, and get stuck into it. So what we're looking at from that point is actual business development. So this is where we've got BDM, like I spoke about before. So we've got retention KPIs. So we've got total active clients, total new, total lost. You've got your retention rate, which is going to be dependent on the amount of new people coming in versus the amount of people lost. Will dictate. So that will give you your retention rate. And then what we're looking at from that point is looking at actual total active client revenue based on the amount of clients that we've got. What is the actual average price? So these KPIs can also really kind of put you into a situation where it forces you to do an internal upsell, because again, you may be charging £250, £300 a month coming in as the starting point, but you are, you're on average, you might be charging 140 quid because you've still got 30 clients who are paying 90 quid or 120 quid a month. And you quickly realize that it's actually those low fees that you've got with those clients who are completely and utterly hindering the progress that you could be making with revenue by not actually doing an internal price increase. So it's so important to make sure you've got that average price increase at all times, guys, because it can come in and completely trip you up so much. We've then got results. I don't know if anyone does do this, but I'm big on tracking results, because at the end of the day, we need to have an ecosystem. We need to have substance and conviction behind our program and actually do the thing that we said that we were going to do. So I really like clients and also us to be tracking the amount of client wins we received, the amount of banked results, the volume that we're actually getting on a month-to-month basis, and then how many testimonials that we've collected, because the more evidence that we've got here, the more confidence that we've got, the bigger that we've got in our bank, the bigger deposits we can make out. And it's so important to kind of prioritize your KPIs on actual client results, because in my opinion, that is the one thing that will dictate performance on your lead generation system at the start, or your sales closer, or confidence when it comes to your content creation, which we're going to be looking at with social media now. So final one, and again, I've got paid media KPIs, I've got operations KPIs, I've got loads of different stuff, but as a general overall rule of thumb, this is the type of stuff we'll be looking at. When it comes to social media, guys, what we've got is we've got 30-day reach, 30-day engagement, 30-day followers, and then what that will basically allow us to do, depends on what KPIs you've got set up, but allow us to be looking at a reach growth rate and a followers growth rate, and you've also got an engagement growth rate. So rather than us looking at standardized numbers on a month-to-month basis, when we look at compiling month 1, month 2, month 3, month 4, what's our current growth rate over time, average, what's our current engagement rate over time? Because this is about how you combine your KPIs on social media in terms of maintaining growth and reach and new pages, new eyes coming to your page, alongside meticulously tracking everything associated with your lead generation systems, your sales systems, your client retention systems, your business improvement systems, the results that you're actually creating and posting, and most importantly, obviously, as I've just spoke about with social media. So that is literally just been taken straight off free. I call it the KPI ecosystem that we provide to clients. People absolutely love them. I love them. I use the exact same stuff that I give to my clients. Like, that's one thing I say to people all the time. Like, whatever I'm telling you to use right now, that's exactly what I'm using to basically manage and scale my own business. So if you are interested in finding out more about KPIs, guys, and also what these numbers mean, but most importantly, how to actually improve them and scale them, then you know what to do. The link's somewhere around my bio. I'd love to have a chat with you. I'd love you to speak to my team and run a discovery call on basically what's happening inside your business now. Like, it doesn't matter to me where you are. If you're on 0k a month, 5k a month, 10k a month, 20, 30, 40, 50, 100, we have programs to support all levels now. So I am open and ready to help you whenever you're ready to help yourself. If you enjoyed this video, drop it a like. If not, drop it into the comments, and I will see you on the next video.